I can still hear it, as clear as the day it happened, her voice cutting through the air like a siren, screaming, "Call the cops! He's trespassing!" And it wasn't just the words. It was the way she shouted them, like she truly believed I was some criminal breaking into my own cabin. My knees went weak, because, in that instant, I realized my father's place, the home he left me, had been hijacked. 18 months I'd stayed away, too crushed by grief to even set foot on the property. And when I finally came back, I walked straight into a nightmare. It was supposed to be quiet, dust, cobwebs, maybe some raccoons in the attic. But no. Instead, I opened the door to see 20 women in expensive yoga pants chanting in a circle. Candles everywhere, incense choking the air. And right in the middle was this woman I'd never met, Nicole Hunter. She was the president of the local HOA, the type of person who always had a rule book in her hand and a fake smile on her face. Only now, she wasn't holding a rule book. She was holding my dad's fishing rod like it was a holy staff. And right at her feet was his tackle box, sitting on a silk cloth as if it were a sacred relic. My heart sank so hard I thought I was going to pass out. That gear was Dad's life. He'd spent more hours with that rod on the lake than anywhere else. And now? Now it was a prop in some New Age circus. When Nicole saw me, she didn't flinch. She called for security. Two guys in black shirts with earpieces actually stepped in front of me, trying to shove me out the door. I barked. "What the hell do you think you're doing? This is my property." But Nicole raised her chin, her voice calm but cutting. "Your absence triggered community rights under the Spiritual Wellness Ordinance. This space belongs to the people now." For a second, I froze. The words sounded official, almost legal. She even flashed some documents with county seals and signatures. I hated myself in that moment because I actually wondered, had I lost the cabin? Was it possible I'd abandoned it for so long that someone else could claim it? Grief fogs your brain, and mine was heavy that day. My stomach twisted, and for the first time in my life, I doubted my own right to stand inside the walls my dad built with his bare hands. I stepped back, muttering, "This is insane." But my phone was already recording in my jacket pocket. I knew better than to fight head-on when the odds were stacked. Outside, I saw catering trucks lined up, clipboards at a check-in desk, even laminated badges for retreat participants. This wasn't a neighborhood yoga group. This was a business, full scale, using my inheritance as the stage. That night, I sat in my kitchen with my head in my hands. My laptop glowed with the evidence I was gathering. Nicole's website advertising The Fisherman's Sanctuary, complete with photos of Dad's belongings and glowing testimonials. Prices ranged from $2,000 to $25,000 per person. She'd even scheduled an event for the very next day with some influencer named Brooke Simmons, planning to film her spiritual transformation for 50,000 followers online. My chest was so tight I could barely breathe. I thought, maybe this is it. Maybe I should just walk away. I'd lost Dad. I'd lost my marriage. Maybe losing the cabin too was just the final nail in the coffin. But then Tom Carter came knocking. Tom was a retired cop, one of Dad's oldest friends, the kind of man who could read a room before he even stepped inside. He sat across from me, lowered his voice, and told me things that made my blood run cold. Nicole had been planting seeds in the community for over a year, telling neighbors I'd abandoned my responsibilities, convincing them that the cabin was meant for healing. She'd even brought in a supposed recovering addict named Crystal, who had been asking suspiciously detailed questions about my schedule, my habits, my state of mind. That's when it clicked. They weren't just squatting, they were orchestrating a takeover. For a moment, hearing all that, I wanted to crawl into bed and never get up. I felt powerless. Who was I against a whole network of lies, fake documents, and community support? And if I went public, would anyone even believe me? I was the grieving, absent son who had stayed away for too long. My hands trembled as I thought about walking away from the fight completely. But then I looked at Dad's old photo on the mantel, his easy grin, the way he always said, You fight for what matters, even when it hurts." That was it. I decided, enough. I wasn't going to let some manipulative woman sell my father's memory like it was an entry ticket to a spa weekend. So I fought back. I built a fake persona online, David Miller, spiritual seeker, just to poke around her system, with my tech background. It wasn't hard to slip into her booking database. What I found was staggering. Fake reviews, clients across 3 states, a booking for Brooke Simmons priced at $25 grand, complete with a professional film crew. Nicole wasn't a local scammer. She was running a multi-state operation, and tomorrow was going to be her crown jewel. But Nicole was ahead of me too. My lawyer Jake called, panic in his voice. She'd filed for a restraining order, in court. She put on the performance of a lifetime, trembling hands, tear-filled eyes, piles of fabricated evidence, photos of me lurking, fake police reports about disturbances, even neighbors parroting her claims that I was unstable. The judge bought it. Just like that. I was legally barred from stepping foot on my own land. Walking out of that courtroom, I felt crushed. I wanted to scream, to throw something, to give up. But I knew if I quit now, Nicole would own my father's memory forever. Jake had an idea. Risky, dangerous, but our only shot. He got me press credentials through a contact, and I slipped into Brooke's production crew as a cameraman. That day, I watched Nicole prance around my cabin, draped in flowing robes, chanting about ancestral fisherman wisdom. She claimed to channel my father's spirit, while Brooke sat wide-eyed, cameras rolling, thousands waiting to watch. My jaw clenched so hard it hurt. Every lie she told felt like a knife in my chest. Then it happened, during a break. Nicole leaned toward one of the cameramen, smirking. "The trick," she whispered, "is grieving families. They're too broken to fight back. Dead relatives make perfect partners. No one complains about interpretation fees." I nearly dropped the camera, but instead I kept it steady, recording every disgusting word. I didn't wait long. I pulled Brooke aside and showed her the clip. She blinked. Then I saw the shift in her eyes. She wasn't just an influencer chasing wellness clout. She was a businesswoman chasing views. And what would get more clicks than exposing a fraud in real time? Minutes later, she went live, pointing the camera at Nicole, announcing to her 50,000 followers that she'd uncovered a scam artist profiting off a dead man's belongings. Nicole froze. For the first time, the mask cracked. She stammered, called me a stalker, screamed that I was violating a restraining order. But no one was buying it anymore. The internet was eating her alive. Comments pouring in, digging up her past, connecting the dots. By the time police showed up, the story had gone viral. State investigators were already circling, and Nicole's empire of lies was crumbling in real time. Crystal's cover got blown too. Tom caught her with a radio. Not some recovery pamphlet, She cracked under pressure, spilling details about their surveillance and manipulation. Even the corrupt commissioner who'd backed Nicole folded, spilling everything to save his own skin. The whole rotten structure collapsed faster than I'd imagined. And me? I finally walked back into my cabin, this time without resistance. No chanting, no strangers, no false rituals, just silence. My dad's rod leaned against the wall, my chest heavy with relief. Nicole had built her empire on grief, but she underestimated one thing. Grief doesn't make you weak forever. It makes you dangerous once you decide to fight. Nicole faced fraud charges, tax evasion, and the humiliation of being exposed in front of the world. Her voice, once so powerful, became nothing but an echo of lies. I didn't need a celebration, didn't need applause. Standing alone in that cabin, breathing in the quiet, was victory enough. And that's the lesson I took from all this, on HOA Drama Unfolded. You learn that no matter how deep grief cuts, you can still rise and fight back when someone tries to steal what's yours.